If a person finds themselves in an unpleasant situation, it typically takes a toll on their nervous system. However, sometimes their distress is excessive, and the problems they face clearly do not warrant the nerves spent, as the issue is easily solvable. Shock, panic, and agitation are typical reactions for someone in a highly unpleasant situation. Of course, there are people who can resist these reactions and immediately start assessing the situation, but unfortunately such individuals are very few. Nonetheless, these are the people one should emulate, as their behavior in non-standard situations is appropriate. Consider this scenario. A person gets off at a station to make some purchases. The train starts moving and the person runs after the departing train. This is absolutely the wrong action since they cannot physically catch up with an accelerating train, and it's unlikely someone will pull the emergency brake. As a result, the person loses both energy and time to no avail. The correct approach would be to hire a taxi, and if the train is not a high-speed one, overtake it on the highway and meet it at the next station. Generally, reasonable people calm down over time, analyze the situation, and find a solution to the problem. The time it takes from the moment the problem arises to finding the optimal solution depends on many factors: the severity of the problem, external assistance, etc. Among these factors, the ability to resist panic is one of the most important, and a person should develop this quality in themselves, something that modern psychologists practice through various training sessions. Besides the panic that grips a person when an unpleasant situation arises, their nervous system is negatively affected by fears related to the further consequences that have arisen or might arise because of the problem. Unlike the initial shock and panic, which disappear irrevocably, these fears can cause a person to wind themselves up to an unknown state, potentially leading to a very sad outcome. In this sense, it's appropriate to recall Chekhov's story, The Death of a Government Clerk, in which the protagonist, Chervyakov, accidentally sneezes on the head of another, more significant official at the theater, who is not his superior. The main character's anxiousness drove him to constantly apologize to the official, who eventually shouted at him, and Chervyakov died. In real life, it's not so amusing. Sometimes people with weak psyches, due to their fears related to the consequences, end their lives. It's worth noting that this refers to people's fear of consequences, the tragedy of which is clearly exaggerated by the individual, who cannot rid themselves of the fears they have imposed on themselves. The ancient Roman philosopher Lucius Seneca wrote in his treatise, Moral Letters to Lucilius, "It is impossible not to recognize the correctness of his words, since in a problematic situation, only a cool head can help a person find a way out and prevent their fears from leading to nervous overexcitement."